Welcome to the Intentional Queen podcast journey to restoration with Jineen. Hey, boo, hey. I'm your host. I'm Jineen R. Huff. As a resilient strategist, an author, a mom, a coach, a transformational speaker, and award-winning nurse leader who has personally beat burnout twice and came back, I created this space just for you. The ambitious moms, the nurses, the nurse leaders, and high-achieving women in high-stress roles. Why? Because if you're ready to break free from burnout, reclaim your harmony in life, love, and leadership, and not to mention motherhood, you are in the right place. I want you to have resilience, and I want you to choose yourself more. My book called I Choose Me, The Intentional Guide to Never Losing Yourself Again, was the breakthrough point, and now you're here. In each episode, we explore mindset shifts, empowering truths, and real stories grounded in my signature Bloom framework, right? Because you got to grow to keep going, okay? It's all designed to help you rise without losing yourself. Thank you for pressing play, and let's get into today's conversation. Hey, boo, hey, we are still in self-love February, planting the seeds greatness. I am welcoming you back to the podcast. I'm just so grateful. I'm saying that because you can hear the smile on my face because we pushing through. Y'all are showing up for me, and it all starts with showing up for yourself. So that is the lesson that I want you to think about as we move into this episode, where we're going to be talking about the permission to pause is a strategy. Yes, it is. We talked about the permission to pause last year, probably in the fall. That episode did numbers. Okay. So that lets me know y'all wanted me to dig deeper. I'm always asking my email list and my clients different things to talk about and what I can bring to the podcast to dive a little bit deeper, give you some more insights. And one of the things that y'all really wanted me to dive deeper into permission to pause as a strategy, not just conceptually, but like, Jineen, give me some solutions, right? So last time I gave you the framework, okay, how I broke it down. Why does pausing feel harder than pushing? I want you to think about that. Why it feels so much harder for us to pause than it is for us to push through, right? Push through exhaustion, push through high function and burnout, like the push through the hustle culture. Like, why it feels so harder? Like, that's the process. That's the question that I'm thinking about when I was doing part 2 that I really want to dive deep into today. So if this is something you love, one, I want you to take a minute. I want you to subscribe on whatever platform you are. And I want you to go ahead and get your pen and paper. Let's go ahead and dive into this thing. Okay. So what we're going to be really talking about is high achieving women need to know clarity on the actions that it is, right? Because we'll rather just push, right? So we like to take action, but will we take an action of knowing that rest is also an action? And when you work with me, I talk about the double P and the double R method, and that talks about pace, pivoting, and we talk about rest and resetting and restoration, because those are key things when you're thinking about how can you have the permission to pause, the double P, double R. Let's keep pushing through. And we resist the pause, right? We pause and then it triggers our guilt. And then we pause and we feel lazy or irresponsible. But the question is, why does pausing feel so hard for us? Right. And I keep saying us because I've been there and I don't like to talk at people. I like to talk with people. And what I mean by that is I see you. And a lot of times we suffer in silence because we don't feel seen and we definitely don't feel heard. And so when you come here and hang out with us, because we've been having so many new people coming through, I see you in the back. Thank you for showing up. I want you to understand that's the mission we're on. And so this is our year of execution. So I'm really trying to give you strategies and things that we can do that we're going to be executing on as we are going throughout this year. Okay. So as we dive deeper into here, I really want to talk about what happens when we never allow ourselves to pause. Well, one, I think about pausing does not mean stopping, meaning like quitting forever. Pausing is like a checking in, a system. So if you listen to last episode, I talked about self-leadership as a strategy, right? Choosing yourself is leadership. And when I have been doing the research and just over the periods of time through my own burnout, I've noticed that we use spa days and self-care days and little things, and that's cool, but we don't have it built in into a system as a strategy to keep us going. Like it need to be a part of our lifestyle, right? And remember, you're a whole person, and a lot of times we compartmentalize ourselves into so many different pockets, and then you feel like you're not yourself because you lose yourself because you being this way in this space and this way in this space. And really, at the end of the day, when you let go of the titles and the idols and you just be yourself, all of you, and you accept where you are in your life at that current time, okay? Put some balls down, because this is part 2 of permission to pause. If you listen to the part 1, you understand where I'm going with this. But it is when you recognize that you do not have to carry all that weight, carry all that responsibility, you can speak up for yourself. For women, it is something about us speaking up and being in that vulnerability space that we challenge that notion that if we do that, we look weak. And if you are the strong one, people just look at you as, you know, the one that can hold all the weight, or they don't even check in, you know. And I can tell you from multiple coaching sessions that I've had with my clients, a lot of them, especially their first few, normally involves the letdown, where they feel seen, they just cry, they sucking that tear back. One of my clients was sucking the tear back. I said, just let it go. It reminded me of Cloudy with the Meatballs, because we got kids in the background, and so he's watching Cloudy with the Meatballs, and the cop on there, he's so stoic, right? He shows a little chest hair on it. Now this is a cartoon, so if you don't know, this is what we talking about. But he'd be like, I'm gonna suck back this tear. Like, we be so strong, like we don't even want to let a tear down because it look weak. You'd be like, I will not let this emotion come. And I think that's what makes us, hard, and I'm just really working on being soft but solid. You know, it's a difference. You ain't gotta be hard. And when people can get in there, now this is a thing that I tell people with caution with vulnerability, because you always got people who want to take advantage, right? But this is where we talk about the permission to pause. Some boundaries got to be put in there, because if you don't have them boundaries, you're not going to be able to say no. You're not going to have the boundary. You're not going to have the strength to take the break, because it looks risky. This is me bringing it all together, because when I speak in layers. And so last episode we talked about choosing yourself as a leadership strategy, but when we incorporate it with permission to pause, you got to have some other things in there. And boundaries help regulate your nervous system. It allows you to deal with people because they're going to try you. You understand? And when I talk about boundaries, I talk about it from gates versus walls. And when you have gates, you allow what's in for you and what's out, and then you purge what no longer serves you. And because here we talk about kingdom business, because Jesus Christ is who I serve, I always ground my year with a scripture. And so for me, last year was Jeremiah 29:11. This year it is Isaiah 43, verse 18 and 19. We got to purge what no longer serves us, but he's springing up something new. Okay. And so if you want execution word with me, and that's what we're doing throughout the podcast. So a lot of people said, well, then you switching up a little bit in the podcast. Like we switched the cover, we did some things. And so we're letting go of old, right? But we're springing up something new. And last year was refinement. In order for you to execute, you got to refine some things. And what I wanted you to refine when we were talking about the permission to pause is that it's okay to choose you. And it's okay to take a nap. It's okay to rest. I did a whole sabbatical. It was nothing like recalibration. My nervous system loved it. Like I loved it for me. I was at the coffee shop having coffee. I just love this for you. I was like, you do. You just look. It looks good on you. So the permission to pause looks good on you. You hear me? I know people who are on countrywide tours right now, living their best life, right? They left them people and went on and did what they had to do. I know some people who cut their hours back. I know some people who came up with new hobbies, things that refilled their soul. I know some people who have really just got a hold of what is it that makes them happy because they just want joy. That's why we had the beginning episodes called Count It All Joy and how we were anchoring resilience. You see, whenever I do things, I think about things in full circle because they all tie into each other and I want to see you win. And when we think about burnout, it whispers before it screams. So them little red flags, they be there. But you be like, nah, not today. It's fine. I'm gonna push through until you hit that wall. And when you do that, it doesn't set you up for success. And as we said, the book has turned 2 years. I Choose Me, The Intentional Guide to Never Losing Yourself Again. And it was built off of that for people who were suffering in silence, which then led to the I Choose Me boot camp, where we come with me and we do 12 weeks and we go from burnout to harmony, where you have a personalized roadmap by the time you're done with me. And we go through confidence, we go through overwhelm, we go ahead and we break it down. And I help you overcome the burnout, but I also give you sustainable strategies that's going to take you to your next level, because at this point, you're ready to execute with strategies. You hear me? And systems. But your positive, sexy self-talk matters during rest and where you don't feel guilty. I had another client shouting her out and she was like, Nee, I just be struggling to rest. Like she be sitting there taking the rest, but thinking about I should be working. So she feel guilty. How do I know? I've been there. But I be telling me I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to shut it down. And you start to build boundaries around your time and you pencil yourself in first. Like that's very important. So the thought pattern is, when you love yourself, because this is self-love month, it's a form of it. You know what I mean? Like it's a form of loving yourself and listening to your body and giving your body what it needs. And when you give your body what it needs, like you just show up different. But I'm telling you, at that coffee shop, like I look lighter. I mean, you're not irritable. You don't have decision fatigue to that caliber. For me, it's deciding what it looks like at each stage, because each stage is not forever. If you mean life changes with the wind. And if you were somebody that's so used to things always being the same, you won't really be living life. And as we talk about an EKG, it must go up and down to have life, right? Peaks and valleys. And when I really understood, I don't ride the lows too low and I don't ride the highs too high. And I try to maintain in between, but I know that they're going to come. And when you have parachute plans in place and when you have boundaries in place and when you learn how to love you on a deeper level, and when you talk to yourself with positive, sexy talk, and you have grace for yourself and you say, you know what, I'm going to give myself permission to pause, and I'm going to have some vulnerability, and I'm going to have these things, right? You see how it's just all these little concepts and nuggets that come together. But you don't get there until you take the baby steps, because your thoughts lead to feelings that lead to actions that lead to results. And at the end of the day, as we're going to be nailing in, like I said today, it's a strategy to do so. It's a strategy to do so. So as we close out this episode, I want you to really think about pausing as something that's proactive, not reactive, right? And even when we throw it into self-care, it's not selfish, but it's something that you proactively do, and it needs to be a system to it. When you pausing for yourself, you're respecting yourself on all types of levels. Put your oxygen mask on before you put somebody else's on. And when you use pausing as the strategy in your everyday daily living, whether you're at work or home, you'll be surprised at how your body, your mind, your spirit, your life, and all 8 pillars of you will be renewed in a way that you never know you needed it, because you were hustling to get to whatever goal at your own detriment. Like that, it does come a time you have to reevaluate where you are. And so I want you to think about this as we close up with a reflection, because I always got to leave you with some homework. What might shift if you treated pause as self-respect instead of something to earn? Let me say that again. What might shift for you, intentional queen, if you treated pausing, right, the permission to pause, as self-respect instead of something you earn? So that means you don't need to earn it. It's not a reward. It's a part of your system. It's a part of what we do, right? So if this episode resonated with you, I want you to make sure you share it. And I already told you about the book. It's 2 years. Go ahead and get your copy. We are hundreds of copies sold globally. Like I said, I celebrate my wins no matter what size, and I tell you to do the same. I want to thank you, Queen, for investing your time in yourself and in your journey to restoration with me as your host. You know why? Because I hope today's conversation has left you feeling inspired and better equipped for this week ahead with harmony and resilience. Because remember what I tell you, when you are good, they are good. New episodes air every other Thursday. So be sure to follow and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss a moment. And if you're really feeling us, I want you to leave us a review so you can help us with our mission to grow and reach more women globally, because we are doing big things and you are a part of this community, and I want us all to grow. The conversation doesn't even have to stop here because you my girl and I want you to hang around. So you can connect with us at our Supportive Bloom community and get resources and exclusive updates when you go to our website at www.intentionalqueenjourney.com. Once again, www.intentionalqueenjourney.com, and you will get our community. You will get the positive, free, sexy talk checklist that you need, and you can just join the email list. So do that today. And you can also find us on our social media pages at Instagram at Intentional Queen Journey, or definitely go over and check out our YouTube channel at Jineen R. Huff TV, where there's over 500 videos of binge-worthy content just for you. And finally, if you found this value in this podcast, please share it with a queen in your life, and consider, like I said, leaving a review. Your support helps this message reach more women who are ready to reclaim their power and bloom in confidence, love, leadership. So until next time, keep blooming, level up your intentional queen to a better you, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.